Jaime Florcruz, otherwise known as Jimmy to his closest friends, is widely revered as the Dean of the Foreign Press Corps at Beijing, having been the longest-serving international correspondent in the People's Republic to date. Florcruz was enrolled in the class of 1977 at Peking University, majoring in Chinese history. This was the first class when college students were enrolled through a nationwide entrance examination. After graduating, Florcruz started his journalistic career in China, working for Newsweek in 1980. From 1990 to 2000, he later became the bureau chief of Time Beijing, before moving on to serve as bureau chief of CNN Beijing from 2000 to 2014. The most interesting aspect about this whole narrative is that Florcruz did not plan his career in China. It can even be said that while he came here at the wrong time, he ended up staying at the right place.
You could say it was a quirk of fate that started over 40 years ago. I was invited to China to attend a 3-week study tour. I came along with 15 youth leaders, all from the Philippines. Once I arrived in Beijing, it seemed like a very romanticized place. Even though life seemed simple, people seemed to enjoy their lives, I noticed there were not many policemen in uniform, which to me indicated that crime was virtually non-existent. Aside from Beijing, we traveled to Shanghai and to Chairman Mao's hometown of Shaoshan in Hunan province. During the second week, this was where I received the unexpected news. One night, Chinese officials called for an emergency meeting with us, told us we could not possibly return to the Philippines immediately because there was a bombing attack.
Florcruz and his countrymates returned to Beijing, where they received the Philippines' official response to the bombing attacks.
Our Chinese host shipped some Philippine newspapers from Hong Kong to Beijing. That's when we found out that the president of the Philippines at that time, Ferdinand Marcos, had declared martial law in our homeland. Marcos used a bombing incident in Manila and decreed the suspension of the writ of habeas corpus. I could say that life in the Philippines was not going well at this time. After thinking long and hard, 5 of us decided to stay behind, to wait in China, while the remaining 10 decided to return to the Philippines. We eventually talked with our Chinese hosts to see if we could earn our keep, to do something, make our lives meaningful and conserve China in some way. Our hosts relented and agreed to take us to Hunan province and work in the farms there.
In 1972, Florcruz traveled to Hunan and worked on the farms for about 7 months. This is where he also began learning the Chinese language. A normal day on the farm for Florcruz would be from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. Picking tea leaves and digging ditches in preparation for the winter.
After work, we would spend about 2 to 3 hours learning Mandarin. We started learning Pinyin first, and then Chinese characters, and then sentences. The harvest season was the most crucial and tiring period. Everyone on the farm worked for 8 to 12 hours a day, trying to finish harvesting or transplanting rice in a very short time. Hunan at night was surprisingly cold. The farmers were very hospitable, so hospitable to give us briquettes, which were made of coal and mud, which we burned to stay warm during the night. The farmers I worked with were hardworking and Spartan. I believe most people in the world, regardless of occupation, could not last 10 minutes doing what Chinese farmers did on a day-to-day basis. China has effectively become a part of me now, and I in turn a part of it. My experience working in Hunan reshaped my identity and taught me the meaning of hard work. Life is not easy. You must go through hardships to get where you want to be.